Penny Jake, the tribe has spoken.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Aw, fuck you too, sweetie.
I'm JJ, one of the original Tribe of Nerds members. You can catch me on Marvel, Pokemon, and other gaming podcasts.
What up? It's Josh, resident superhero nerd, but I also dabble in the occasional super villain as well.
Some may know me as the Chaos Gremlin, but really I'm just Joe King.
Pikachu, use Volt Tackle! Good job, Pikachu!
On the Tribe of Nerds.
Leslie, take a chill pill.
Yeah, this dude needs to stop.
Nitroglycerin stabilized by clay. All right, we're not going to take any more of this stuff than we need because nitroglycerin is extremely temperamental. So we.
All right. You just.
I ran home to be made.
I'm so glad he got you in this moment.
I just didn't expect him to just blow up. Oh my god.
Oh, your face. It wasn't even an eyebrow. That was a full facial expression. Your face.
Yeah, that's the biggest reaction we've had so far.
I know. Not an eyebrow raise. That was a full-blown facial expression.
I can't wait to watch and see what I missed.
Yeah, I just was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I expected to happen to Leslie, but it just wasn't that.
What was hilarious, though, is it actually took you, like, a good minute, though. Like, not even a minute. Like, but, like, at first he blew up and you kind of sat there, like, and then you were, like, it, like, clicked in your head. You're like, but it was, like, blow up, Jake going, like, he just blew up. Holy shit, he just blew up.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Kristin, Michael, Kevin, Gregg, and I are here for Exodus Part 2 of Lost. So some really important setup and a moment that I did not see coming. So
Biggest reaction yet.
Nobody saw that coming.
Nobody saw that one coming. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you guys will see that in like our opening clips. You will definitely see that reaction. You'll have seen it by now. So
yeah, that's making the cut.
It's definitely making the cut. Before jumping into the synopsis of this episode, which I mean, again, like Jake said, this is more of a setup episode to like prepare us to launch us into part 3 to wrap up season 1. I do have a fun fact, and I did not know this fun fact until I just looked it up. And now I'm a little bit upset that this didn't actually happen. So, according to Damon Lindelof, there was a flashback episode planned for Vincent in this episode, where it would show Vincent's experience at the airport. However, details of the scene were spoiled by the press, so the producers decided not to shoot it since it was not important and it was only an in-joke type of situation. I definitely needed a Vincent flashback.
yeah, so the press just ruined.
Thank you, press, for ruining everything.
Well, I assume like at the airport.
Yeah, like yes.
So maybe that's why they decided to make season 6 like all Vincent flashbacks every episode. Oops, sorry, Jake. Sorry.
You weren't supposed to say that. No, but I mean, like, screw you, press. I definitely needed more Vincent time, so I'm a little upset about that. But jumping into this, we see that we get started with Aaron, which is now Aaron. We find out in this episode he becomes Aaron, but at this time he's still Turnip Head, and Claire is stressed beyond stress. Again, like, we have to like think about this. She's just given birth like not even like a few days ago. Now the others are coming. Like everybody's freaking out. People taking off to go get dynamite. Others are on a raft. Like she's just overwhelmed beyond belief. Gotta love Charlie. Charlie coming in clutch yet again. Like it's okay. She's like, it's too much. I can't do this. We do see that Charlie instantly goes to Saeed and he goes into protection mode. He's like, I need a gun. He's like, help Claire get her shit together and you guys need to get to the caves. Like, I'm not doing this with you right now. We have too much going on. Charlie's still just like being that protector that we've seen him time and time again be for Claire. Which is just I love the fact that he is so invested in her. Then we get to our people at the Black Rock, which we learned yesterday is not a Black Rock. It is a ship holding our dynamite. And with that, they have to go now and extract this dynamite. Leslie, our good old Leslie Arzt here, he has decided, you know what? I just told you I was going to come out here and help you, like, figure out how to do this. I'm not actually going to help you do this. Like, I'm good. You guys go into the ship, and I'll be out here if you need me. And then good old Hurley, he's like, same, I'll be out here.
Leslie's the supervisor.
He's a supervisor, for sure.
I love this for Leslie. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going in there.
I love too that he puts. I didn't sign up to like explore the ghost ship, which is a very good movie, by the way. That is very underrated. Ghost ship. It's underrated.
We don't have to have that conversation. It's fine.
We're not gonna have that conversation. Anyway, underrated movie. So go watch it and then decide. Anyway, so we do have Jack, Locke, and Kate go into the ship. They've discovered this is like a past slave ship. And all like kind of exploring this ship here. They do go into the room where they find the dynamite. Kate very smartly decides that she wants to bust this open with a pickaxe, where Jack is like, let's not, and say we did. And I love that this is verbatim of what happened on the episode. I'm quoting what exactly happened here. But he says, let's take this outside so we can see what we're doing and not in this dark, like, ship. She wants to instantly carry it. Jack, of course, is being kind of protective of her in this moment. He's like, we've got it. Show us the way. She's kind of, you can see on her face, like, oh, okay, like, cool. I guess I'll hold the flashlight. That's what I'm here for. But they do go outside to, which, mind you, while they're in the ship, Hurley and Leslie are having a very riveting conversation. Leslie is talking about his 3 marriages. Hurley's not listening to anything, which leads Leslie Arzt onto a tangent about how he's not part of the cool kids. This happened to him in high school. He knows all about it. Like, Jen doesn't bring the fish, and Kate gets the best fuselage piece. He's on a whole... He's been waiting how many days for this, like, rant. And it is...
I love it.
Everyone
Everyone looks angry at Leslie, but I love it. We're going to get caught up in the blowing up of Leslie soon, so I should just mention it now while we're on it. Like, I do love that conversation between Hurley and Leslie. I just keep calling him Leslie because I can't say his surname. Because like, it's like he's given voice to the audience's like questions about like, who are all these other people? It's like, we're all here too. 40 of us are still alive here, not just the 10 that get the camera time.
Right.
It is funny.
It is funny. But I also love Hurley's face in this moment too. He's like, okay, dude, like, I don't care. And obviously this conversation gets broken up by them carrying out the explosives, and he's like, yo, what are you doing? I didn't want you to bring the dynamite out here. I was letting you guys do that inside, which is why I stayed outside. But okay, now that we're outside, let me tell you how to handle dynamite. Again, he's on a full-on tangent. He is having a field day talking about who invented dynamite and blew their face off. You guys are so wrong. Listen to me. I am Arzt. And kablooey! The man blows up. That is our opening sequence. Like, just think about how, like, the first 5 minutes of this episode, and we have a dude that blows up out of random. Jake, walk us through... obviously the lead up to this, but then we saw your reactions, like, and now the podcast has seen your reaction. Walk us through this moment.
Yeah, so that conversation with Hurley, I love like the meta of it as well, and like just the fact like in there, like the main characters that we've seen are just going to be like, they don't know what he's talking about. And like, I don't know, just like Hurley just not caring and not knowing what he's talking about is really funny. And then yeah, getting to Leslie just blowing up, I just was like, my God, I did not expect that. I don't know what I expected out of this character, but he was probably my least favorite character, and at least in the last few episodes that he's been in. So I'm okay with it. It was time for him to go.
No love for Leslie. Probably why he has 3 lines.
He was written to be that way. It was written to like his character was written for exactly this to happen, to like give that voice to us, to be like, hey, wait a minute, where's the other 30 people? Right. And then to get rid of him and like to have a shocking moment. Like I think I said it before in the spoiler section, but like to raise the stakes so that we know it's serious and we know it matters, but at the same time not make it too heavy and not like endanger our main cast. Real quick, rewind. Again, Kate gets hate. Kate gets hate. What did Leslie use to open the box? A knife. Like, you needed something sharp to pry it open. I don't understand. She wasn't going to take the axe and hack the box to bits. Like, she just needed to get it open. And then they got yelled at for carrying it outside. So she was right. She was trying to open it inside. I don't understand the problem.
Great. And like on Leslie blowing up, I do think it's funny that this is a horrific, horrible death that is played for laughs because we don't care about Leslie. It's like the guy explodes. Yeah, it's so brutal. And yeah, I do agree. It's purely there to raise the stakes. Like, we're about to go into part 3 and we're going to have 2 of our characters carrying bags of dynamite. How do we make that seem dramatic? Well, we're going to show you how dangerous this dynamite is that's been left in the sun for however many years by blowing someone up before our main characters carry it.
Yes.
Gregg, what are your thoughts on Arzt?
I mean, everybody touched on everything I wanted to say, but I did notice something when they were walking through the slave ship. They when the handcuffs came up, fuck pirates. When the handcuffs came up, you saw Kate's eyes, and she kind of shuddered for a second. Like, I like the little details in that because I started noticing more of them because of that one part.
Yeah, I mean, we've said this like for this entire season, and we will continue to say throughout the show that their attention to detail is like just unmasked by any other show. Also, it's funny, Michael, that you bring this up. Like, think about, like, we're all laughing our asses off that Arzt just blows up. If this was like a freaking Sawyer, Jack, like if they were blowing up, we're bawling our eyes out. But we're laughing because it's Arzt. Like, it's just, there is the brutality of it. Like, that was a horrific death, but like Leslie made it to where we could laugh about his death. So thank you, Leslie. Your time is now gone.
Well, he may get a little more time in our brain.
A little bit.
He was
a little chunk.
Little chunk of time. Moving forward, we're getting some more flashbacks. We're obviously setting up where we're seeing everybody before the flight. So we're getting little bits like on the day of or at the airport, those types of things. We do see Jin and Sun, which we saw from the previous episode, but on this time we're seeing that it's on the Jin side where he went off to the bathroom yesterday, or the other episode, Sun was left behind hearing, Karen is what did you call her, Michael, yesterday?
Generic racist bitch number 1.
Perfect, yes. But we get to see the Jin side of this now, where he goes off to the bathroom. God love Mr. Pike here, because he's just still around, as evil as he is, because this guy in the bathroom lets Jin know, I know your plan with you that you and your dad made. Like, go, where the hell were you at the fishing village that you guys heard this plan? Like, were you guys in the water? Was there like a walkie-talkie and a fish? Like, what is happening here? But somehow they know about this plan, and he's like, not gonna happen, dude. Go do what you're supposed to do, or there's gonna be some problems. I think, like, we've talked about how horrible her father is, but like in this moment to like, how did you know this? And now you're like, it's even worse that you're like, not happening, dude, not happening. You're gonna.
I wondered if he figured it out, like he followed Sun and knew Sun was taking like English lessons, and like assumed that the two of them were both planning on it. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's a possibility. But we do also see Saeed here, dealing with the ramifications thanks to Shannon from the previous episode. So they obviously had questioned him because good old Shannon decided to let security know that some Arab dude left his bag.
And everything turned out to be fine. I don't know why we hate on Shannon.
Oh, gee, I don't know.
Neither do I, Kevin. Neither do I.
Speaking of Shannon, we go back to the beach here where you get very small moments, Michael, so take it up. We have Shannon here. She is moving or trying to move a ton of stuff off the beach. So we know that they're all trying to go to the caves. She's struggling, having just the worst time of it. And Saeed runs up and is like, do you really need all this stuff? Like, of course, like being superficial Shannon, it probably anybody would think that it would be Shannon just bringing a bunch of her crap because that's who Shannon's been. But lo and behold, we find out that it is Boone's stuff and she cannot leave it behind because she cannot leave her brother behind. Very sad moment there. It just kind of touches her heart. So I'll give Shannon a moment and that's all she gets. Moving on.
Holy shit. This is a big day.
Mark this on the
Christmas
calendar.
You want to know
why? Do you want to know why? It's because I could mention Boone. That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
Take what you can get, Michael. Take what you can get.
I'll take it.
We do also see back at our heroes over here at the Black Rock. They're now starting to handle the dynamite. We see Kate like sitting there with Hurley, like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, he just like exploded. But we see that Locke and Jack are in their kind of their leadership roles yet again, handling this dynamite. There was a funny moment here where Locke like, "You ever play Operation?" And picking up the dynamite. First of all, I would be terrified to even breathe as I'm moving this dynamite. The fact that he's making a joke about Operation, like, kudos to John Locke on that one, because I'd be terrified to breathe. But they are discussing, you still kind of see this tension between them, though, where Jack's like, "Do you like playing games, Locke?" And he's like, "Yep, sure do. Like, we're going to play one later on when we do this dynamite." It's, again, just this, like, the two of them are always completely on two different paths, but also leading to the same thing, which is so interesting and ironic to think about, that these two, like, their paths are never gonna cross. They're always gonna be like this, like, very different people, but like they seem to have the same goal in mind. Like every time you see a Jack and Locke episode, you're like, you guys are doing the exact same thing, but you're just don't do that to Jack. I'm sorry, they're the same person, Kevin.
That's not
two sides of the same coin.
Right.
Also, it's very easy to like forget that these episodes are all taking place over the course of a few days, weeks. Is like we're only a couple of days removed from Jack claiming he's going to kill John Locke. Like that's a fresh thing.
Correct.
And now they're on this mission together, so he absolutely is not trusting Locke in this moment.
Correct.
But I do love the fact that Locke makes a little joke of it and scares Jack and has this big smile on his face.
I know,
so
like
funny.
Jack like jumps and
I don't.
I know you don't, but it's funny.
It is funny, objectively.
We also get to our next like kind of bigger part. This is our arts blown up in this section. Charlie comes up again, very adorably helping. Like he has now created the baby Bjorn of the island. Love Charlie. Like, can't we just like? I love him so much. Like it hurts. But he's like, "Claire, it's okay. We're good. Like I've solved all your problems." She gives him a little kiss on the cheek. He's all like excited about himself there. And Rousseau enters and she's like, "I need Saeed, help. We need Saeed. And he's like, "Bro, he like left 10 minutes ago. Like, you're a little late." She's like, "I need Saeed. Get me Saeed now." And so Charlie's like, "Oh, okay. I will go get Saeed. We are left with Rousseau and Claire here, and it kind of in the moment you're sitting there like Rousseau, we know, has lost her child. We know that she has told Saeed her story. And it's kind of this sweet moment that you see her just like kind of going into this moment of like, oh, like I miss my baby, you know? Where she starts asking Claire these questions. Claire's obviously like, you just ran in asking for Saeed. What's going on? She's like, can I hold your baby? Red flag. Red flag. No, what's up, lady?
Lots of red flags.
Lots of red flags.
Music is a red flag, even though Claire can't hear it.
But we see her hold her hands out to like, please let me hold your baby. And Claire's like, bro, like back off. But then notices the scratches and we see a flashback here. So Jake, what are your thoughts? We got a little bit. We see Claire obviously terrified before we cut to break. So where are you at here in this last little section here?
Well, we've known that Claire has had a little bit of trouble remembering what exactly happened. And I did pick up on it, though, last episode of like that shot of Claire and Danielle looking at each other. Like clearly something happened between them. And obviously we see here that I guess Claire is the reason for those scratches on her arm. And so I'm really interested. I'm wondering how much we're going to get next episode as to what happened. So yeah, I mean there's just so much going on. So like a couple different plot lines that I feel like I still need answers to, that I hope we get, and this is definitely one of them.
Anybody else?
I remember when I was watching this live, I remember thinking like, no, Danielle can't be a bad guy. Like, while we didn't know much about it, I was like, no, like, that's not how this is supposed to go.
She's fun crazy, not like evil crazy. Surely.
Exactly. Like,
you didn't see this one coming.
Not for me though. I called it like way back at the beginning. I said that I thought she was going to end up being the big bad of the series. And like this, for me, it confirmed it when I saw it the first time. I was like, oh yeah, she's totally the worst person on the island.
You know, for me, I remember this like very vaguely, but almost like it happened yesterday, watching this for the first time, going in this moment. Has Rousseau been an other this entire time? Like, I remember thinking this as I'm watching this live, and I'm like, this ain't feeling so hot. Like, now we've heard this story. Was this like all a lie, like all along? I just remember like, where are we going with this? What is happening with this Rousseau chick? Because now I'm starting to question everything I ever thought about her in this moment. Like, you know, we had her in that moment with, you know, the music box and things like where you're feeling very like all these feels for her. And then in this moment, the terror on Claire's face, I remember like going to commercial being like, wait a minute. Was I wrong? So, yeah.
Yeah, because like we do see that flashback of, you know, there's a struggle there between Claire and Rousseau, and she gets these scratches on her arms, and we know that Ethan couldn't have dragged Charlie and Claire off by himself.
Right.
So,
right.
You know, it is that thing of, well, okay, maybe our perception of who this character is completely wrong. And
Right.
she was involved in some fashion that we've seen. I do think Charlie was a bit dumb here. Like, just because Saeed's like said like there's this crazy person on the island. She's been here by herself for 16 years, but she didn't kill me. She did torture me, but she didn't kill me. Like, why not say, okay, I'll take you to Saeed. Don't leave this crazy random woman with Claire and the newborn baby.
Right.
Come on, Charlie.
Yeah.
Because he found Saeed very quickly. He could have just ran up the beach with Rousseau.
Yeah.
Or just like we see later what Sun is with Claire. Like, there were still other people around. Like, don't leave her alone with the baby with Danielle.
Yeah, or I mean, or also being like, yeah, he's that way. He just go like
now
to the beach. He went.
Yeah, this isn't my problem. Yeah,
right. In defense of Charlie, this is a very panicked time.
Right.
It's very like these people are coming. They're going to like try to hurt it. Like, we don't have time to like.
I'm trying to help Claire. Like, yeah, he's very focused on Claire in this moment.
It makes sense but it's obviously not what you like. Come on.
Well, and in fairness, I mean, they did just have Danielle come to the camp and warn them that they needed to go. So, I mean, in some ways, at least they got some sort of trust from her to...
Right. And Saeed trusts her, so, like, we can trust her.
Yeah, but also, like, it's so methodical, her thought process. Like, obviously, she thought this out heading back after dropping them off at the Black Rock. She's like, I need a good something like that's going to be believable, and for her to be, because she was coming into the camp asking for Saeed. Like, she like originally was like, I need to speak to Saeed. So for her to come back and be like, I need Saeed, like, panic, because we all know that she just took off to go to the Black Rock. It was like a good thought process and like brilliant on Rousseau for sure.
There's genius under that crazy.
Genius under the crazy. All right, flashback that we see Charlie getting anxiously ready to get aboard his flight. We see, which I kid you guys not, when we were watching this, Kason and I, my son, he goes, is that Shannon? I was like, no, but okay, like, good looking out. But like, even like a 9-year-old is like trying to like look for the connections and clues of Lost, so it was kind of cute. But no, it is not Shannon. But there is a crazy blonde in his bed, and we see that they had partied the night before. He is looking for those drugs. He wants his stuff. She wakes up and she's like, "You want to do a little bump before we go?" And he's like, "Darn, we ran out last night." We see him find them in the bathroom. He's holding out. He's like, "I'm not sharing anymore. You got me on a good moment last night, but I ain't sharing anymore right now." We see this struggle between them, which I think Lost did an amazing job to show kind of the full addiction and struggle of people that are dealing with addiction. To just see them like completely losing their mind. She's like going batshit crazy over this just because she wants that high. He's like, I don't want to run out before I get home. Like, this is a tiny bag. Little did he know he's going to be on an island. But, like, he's like, I'm not sharing any of this. Like, this is all mine. Like, I think they did an amazing job to kind of show that struggle that people face there. Of course, that leads us to Saeed and Charlie heading out. They've got to go and catch up to Rousseau. We've seen that they've come back to the beach, and Claire is hurt. She has a big gash in her head. We find out that that Rousseau has taken baby turnip head and has like just gone. They're all like, why would she do this? Charlie starts throwing blame. He's punching Saeed. Saeed with one hand goes, don't do this again, dude. Like, around his throat. Do not do this again. Can we also stop with the throat and poor Charlie? Like, can we just not? This poor man.
Weakness.
Don't mess with the throat. Again, it proves the point that Charlie is still so protective over Claire, and I love this. But Claire is hurt. She obviously got bashed in the head. Baby turnip head is gone. We have back over at our Black Rock people, who's gonna carry the dynamite. This turns into a whole like, I'm going to carry it. We've seen Locke that says, well, we should have a fail-safe. And Jack's like, in case one of us blows up. Yeah, precisely. We just saw Arzt blow up. Like, we need to have a plan. Kate wants to help. Jack being protective of her yet again. No, you're not going to do this. I'm doing it. Locke, we're not arguing. Let's basically draw straws, but it's going to be sticks. We do see that on the raft there, hanging out and kind of getting the lay of the land. They've noticed that the island is rather large. They're starting to check for ships. Like, Saeed had told him, turn this on once an hour. Good old Sawyer reading the loved one letters. Listen, not so great, Sawyer, but I mean, he was bored. They were like 10 minutes in. He had nothing to do. So, I mean, letters. I do also love the moment where he's like, I had no idea that she was, Joanna or whatever her name was. I don't even remember, but it was all missing her husband because she's been cuddled up next to Scott. And he's like, bro, like, he's dead. Like, the fact that we're still mixing up Scott, it's great. It's great. It's like those two will always forever be Scott Steve together. Like, they're not two separate people. It's one person. And And then obviously we see Saeed and Charlie take off. They are grabbing the guns. We see that Claire runs up and she's so distraught as a mom. Like, I can't imagine, like, again, these feelings, like, just gave birth. Now the baby's, like, kidnapped. She's still dealing with the...
Not like kidnapped, actually kidnapped.
Right. Was going to, like, give the baby up for adoption, but I decided, like, I obviously am keeping the baby. I love this baby. Like, all these things, all these emotions. And we see Turnip had to get a name. It is now Aaron. She says, Charlie, bring Aaron back. And he's like, Aaron? She's like, just bring him back, Charlie. It's, oh, God. It's like, love it. Jake, walk me through your thoughts here. A lot of stuff happening. We have Rousseau being... Rousseau, like, taking babies and hitting new moms over the head and all these other things happening. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that it was really sad to have Rousseau take the baby away, but clearly, like, whoever these people are really want Claire's baby for whatever reason. We don't know yet, so, and yeah, I mean, the acting for Claire is just incredible. Like, just, you know, that's how a mother should react to her child being taken. And, you know, obviously her getting Saeed and Charlie to, like, you know, go after, find the kid and find the baby. And so, yeah, it was really sad and, really good acting, like I said. And it was cool to finally get a name for Turnip Head other than Turnip Head. So
Still love Turnip.
It's all I'll ever call him. Never calling him the other name. It's just Turnip Head. I do like seeing badass Saeed. Like, he could probably have blocked the first punch from Charlie. Like, Charlie isn't a threat to Saeed, but like Charlie's frustrated and he's angry. And then he just stops him, like, grabs his throat. It's like,
He doesn't
don't do
even
that again.
flinch.
I gave you one.
Doesn't even flinch about getting punched by Charlie. He's like, no.
It doesn't care.
No, just
like,
don't do that again. It's about the disrespect. It's not about the pain.
yeah, and also says, like, you know, you're portioning out blame. There's lots to go around. Like I said, like, yeah, Charlie, you also, you know, you didn't think, but you can look at yourself as well in this situation. Like, this isn't Saeed's fault. He wasn't even here.
Right.
Like, Russo just came in and did this. He never said that she was a saint. He just said he had, like, we don't know exactly what he said about her, but I don't think you can put this on Saeed at all. Charlie's more at fault, if anyone is.
Yeah. Kevin, Gregg? I love there is a lot that actually happens in this episode, but we've said it time and time again that it's building up. Like, we know that this is setting us up for lots of different moments that are going to happen in this next part.
We know. The four of us know.
We do. We know more than what we're letting on, but but it's also proving in this because we're getting little bits of each section that's happening, so we know that it's like telling a little bit of a story to get us to what's going to happen in the next episode. Greg, what were you going to say? No, I thought you were going to say.
I can't remember now.
Oh.
Sorry.
I was listening to what you said. And that's
Sorry.
all I could remember.
If you think of it, interrupt me. We do get our last flashback here of Michael and Walt. Again, we've talked about this. This relationship we saw from the previous episode. Walt's a little shit. He left the freaking hotel room at 5:30 in the morning. Like, listen, we know that he had not seen this kid in years and just got dumped on, like, literally days ago. Walt still, we talked about this. He is being a little shit, but, like, the kid just lost his mom. He's now with this guy.
He just lost his mom. His dad that he's known, like, got rid of him. Like, he
doesn't know that part. He thinks that this guy stole him from him, but yes.
Right. He's some guy doesn't. This is very traumatic for this.
This is for both of them. Really. But we see Michael. He's like, I need a breather because I'm gonna knock this kid out. He's ignoring me. I need a breather. Let me go call work, which is his mom. Where he's like, Mom, I can't do this. I'm not like I was never supposed to be part of this plan. I don't want a kid. I got to go to work at 5 a.m. How's he gonna get to school? What's gonna happen? I don't know what I'm gonna do. Kind of pure panic of, like, sitting in here. of him just like, I have to now raise a kid. We see him say, Mom, can you take him? And she's like, I can imagine the other end of this phone call. She's like, fuck no, it's your kid. Like, what are you doing? No.
Immediately pawning him off on her.
Right.
It's like this has been Michael's whole goal for the entire season. Like how much he wants to be in Walt's life, and then he gets him and he's like, oh, fuck this.
No, he's like, I didn't realize this kid would be an asshole.
I mean, parent Kristin, you can probably attest to this. Like, how many times as a new parent do you call your own parent or call anyone and be like, I need help.
Yeah.
Right. So like
abort mission. Mission. I need a minute. I'm gonna need somebody to come take these kids, because that's exactly what it is. It's like, granted, we have other circumstances that are happening here, but like, listen, being a parent is tough, and like, again, just being thrown at it. Golly, man, it like, I can't imagine all this, but man, you get a moment, and especially with your kids, like, where you're like, I need to walk away, or you need to walk. One of us needs to walk away because we need a minute because this is going to end badly for anybody. But yeah, I feel for Michael, but I also feel for Walt, because it's like, we already know. It's just, but then coming out of this flashback, we see this huge growth of them having this bonding moment on the raft. Like, listen, I don't full on cry. That was the other episode, but
it's so cute though.
I grew up on the lake with like my family and stuff, and like, it's kind of a rite of passage for when your dad like says, come drive the boat, you know? And so it's just such a cute moment. He's like teaching him, he's like, turn it this way. I mean, Michael made a joke like, don't shoot for the clouds because they're gonna move. But I mean, just a cute moment all the way around of them just having this beautiful father-son moment. We do see Walt being curious here, and oh my God, he says a line. But he's like, why didn't you and my mom stay together? He's like, we tried. Why didn't I ever see you? Well, she didn't want you to see me. He thought she thought she was doing the best by you. And Walt goes, she was wrong. And what?
Even Walt doesn't like Susan.
Right. Nobody likes Susan. Nobody likes Susan. But also, like, what an amazing turnaround from, what is this, 30 days ago? Like, he's like, I don't want you. You're not my father, to this. It's so, like, she was wrong. Just so beautiful. Obviously, don't let Walt drive the raft, because the rudder breaks off.
It's not Walt's fault.
They hit a log. Yay!
It happened immediately after he gave him charge of the boat, to be fair.
It was not Walt's fault.
It's just ironic. Yeah. But of course, that gives us our shirtless Sawyer scene. Yay for me. He jumps off the raft to save them all. He's such a good person. Listen, you guys, like, you were mad at him for reading letters, but like, it gave him the oomph and the ante to go in and get the runners. He was so excited.
What?
I always have to. Two things are related.
I always have to spin it to make him not a bad guy. Anyway, but he does end up getting the rudder, and like, they are back. However, we do see that he has taken off his shirt. We know that he had received a gun, and Michael did not know about this, but he does now, and he is not happy. He is like, here, put your shirt on, and I don't want you to burn. Also, Michael, I get that you're maybe not like too excited about this, but he did just save your ass, and he's out of breath still from swimming this in. Maybe be a dick later. Just saying.
I don't think Sawyer did anything wrong by bringing a gun. Like,
I don't either.
No.
I could see him being.
I don't know why Michael was so like taken back by it.
I thought Michael was afraid that Sawyer was thinking of using it on them, but I think that. But like, that was.
I also, like, as a parent though, what if Walt had picked that up accidentally? Like,
right.
Like, we already know how he felt about Locke handing him a knife. Now there's a gun that you can't even, like, you don't have a lockbox for it. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't like at home. So I think that maybe that's his panic-stricken moment of where the danger's coming from. Like, I built this raft to get us rescued. This is my idea. I invited you on. Now you have a gun on here that you didn't tell me about with my kid that's literally right next to it. Like, I think that that's maybe where it's coming from. But again, like I said, the man just, like, saved your asses. Like, give him a minute to breathe and then get pissed.
I feel like it could have been more of like but he could have dealt with that differently. Like, dude, you brought a gun. Like, you could have told me, like, we have a kid on the road. Like, it didn't have to be. Like, he gave him this look of like, you're a piece of shit.
Right.
It's like, I don't think he deserved that.
No, I don't either.
I did want to talk about the Sawyer reading the letter scene and like the fact he doesn't know that Hurley's name is Hugo. Like he's like
Yes.
Hugo guy has like $1 million. Is like
170.
yeah. It's just really funny to that Sawyer doesn't know who Hurley is and or that Hurley's name is Hugo and then like
Who the hell is Hugo?
yeah.
Oh, it's too funny. Yeah, no, that is a good moment. Also, like his amount changes a lot. I don't think actually.
True.
This is why he has an account. He has no idea how much actual money he has, but
It's a lot.
It's in the
It's a lot.
100
It's a lot of
billions.
money.
That's all we need to know.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
money.
He buys
Um, So then we also see that Kate, we see Jack bring over the pack for her. She has obviously picked the straw. He's not happy about this, so he hands her the backpack. He tells her, like, be careful. Let's set out. They've made a plan where they're going to stagger and have Jack lead first, then Kate, then Hurley, then Locke. They have all decided that this is the best course of action. I mean, Locke is still like, Jack had the whole put them together, but then Locke wants them to stagger out more. Jack does say, if you hear anything, they're like the security system. And he's like, yes, put the bags down and run. Like, we're out. Like, we're not messing around. Like, we are, like, safety is like number one. We do see them at the caves. Shannon she has a moment where she sees, obviously, where Boone has passed again. So sorry for Shannon in this moment. Let you have the moment because that's it. That's all you're getting. But we see Sun that comes up. She's trying to comfort her, but Sun's obviously dealing with some like internal trauma because Jen is gone. She's wondering if they're being punished. Claire's over there like, I don't care. Please shut up. I'm worried about my kid right now. This is not happening. Like, I get you guys are all scared, but like there's no reason. This isn't fate. Like, this is just like shit. Like, we just got shit. We do see that Saeed and Charlie are running. Charlie's like, I'm coming. Yep, I'm coming. Keep going. I'm good. Saeed's like, bro, you're gonna die.
He's a recently recovering drug addict trying to run with a trained military professional.
Right.
Mhm.
But Saeed's like, you're about to like croak, dude, so we're gonna take a break. Where are we taking the break at? Cocaine plane. Smart. Or not cocaine, heroin plane. Heroin plane.
The Heroin Express.
Heroin Express, which is smart to bring, the recovering addict. But as we pointed out, Saeed does not know this part.
Right.
And so it's just like, he's just flaunting it at Charlie, which,
Making it rain heroin. Like, look at all this.
look at it all.
Brown sugar everywhere.
It also, we see, like, I mean, poor Charlie, like, he like was actively doing heroin on the plane as it crashes, to then like kicking it cold turkey, and all this is within, like, what did we say, 30, we said this 30 days ish, roughly.
Yeah.
So to like see this at your fingertips, of course I'd be like, all right, maybe. Like, the stress that they're under too. He's on a mission to find a kidnapped baby with this French chick that was here for, lots of things going through our head. And then we end this episode with, you see the Black Rock excursion, walking through the woods. And this part I have to go to Jake on, because we end this episode with this bird that like screeches, takes off, and yep, whoever named this dark territory, very smart. And then it says to be continued. I want to hear everybody's thoughts on everything, but I want to see if Jake brings up anything specifically, and then I will address it afterwards. So we'll leave it at that. Jake, talk to us about your thoughts on this. At this ending here.
I mean, like, the bird is, I mean, there has to be some sort of significance to it that I'm just not getting at the moment. But, yeah, I mean, clearly, like Hurley said, dark territory. It's properly named, I think. Something bad might happen there. So,
We don't know. Cannot confirm or deny.
okay. So, I mean, what was the thing you wanted to point out?
Well, I'll let Michael, Kevin, and Greg say their thoughts, and then I'll get to it.
The on the Charlie side of things as well, we also get like the explanation there of why Saeed thinks she's doing what she's doing. So like trying to at least empathize or understand why Danielle might be doing this. Like, 16 years ago, she had her child taken from her, and maybe in her mind, taking another child is something to bargain. This is maybe the first concrete evidence she's had since of a location where the others are going to be, and like, okay, how could I get my child back? They take children, maybe I can take them on myself. And I really love the line Saeed says of, don't apply reason to an insane mind or whatever it is, that like she's a grieving mother who's lost her child just like Claire. Like she's a victim in this too. It doesn't, excuse what she does to Claire, but yeah, like imagine not only being stuck on this island for 16 years, but having no idea where your child is.
Yeah. I think that they do a really good job of like humanizing a person who is struggling with addiction. So thank you, Lost, for that. Because if you haven't, you probably know someone who has, and it's great to see that like these are also complicated people who like sometimes just make different choices than you, and we should still care about them. They're still good people. But going to the trek back to the hatch with the dynamite, I personally am annoyed by the what's in the hatch. Hope. Oh my God, shut up, Locke. But it's fine because it's interrupted by the bird scaring everyone. And it's I think you're supposed to question whether like, oh, it's just a bird, or are you supposed to think like, is that the monster? Like, I think we don't know. Like there's so much we don't know. Like, was that just a bird? I remember thinking that
it was like a big bird.
Like
very big bird.
Like that's a bird, but like is the bird in on it? Like so
I instantly went to pterodactyl, but
Bird up.
Greg?
I remember the first time I watched it, I expected Charlie to kind of just go Scarface and just fall in the brown sugar. I'm proud of Charlie for not doing that. Not too much for the scene for me.
He's got a
Charlie just decides this is where I'm going to live now. Just
I
set
mean,
up camp by the
I'm gonna live in Boone's death plane here.
I could do a bump a day for like 10
no reason.
I'm a little nervous that Charlie's now gonna relapse. I mean, I think that's what it was setting up with his flashback, and then here, unfortunately, which I hope not, but I'm not optimistic considering these scenes.
I see COD. So I want to bring this up. I think Michael, Kevin, and Greg will know where I'm gonna go. But Jake, that was a very prominent screech from this bird. Did you notice anything about this screech?
Oh my God. I feel like there's so much stuff that I'm missing. I mean, is that something that we've heard when like the monster is around? Like, I feel like
It's definitely not something you heard around the monster, but it's definitely something you should have heard.
I can't think of.
On the count of three, do we all
Oh boy,
want to
out
say
of
what
his
happened?
misery.
All right, on the count of three, we're all going to tell you what the screech was. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Hurley.
Oh,
That's
That was the best screech I could possibly do.
Yeah, I wasn't doing the screech, but it said Hurley.
It does.
it does. Okay.
Hurley. So
I did not hear that at all.
yeah, it's
Hurley.
a very weird screech, but yes, it says Hurley. So
Okay.
to be continued. Look at his mind. Look at
The bird knows who they are.
the bird knows.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the end of part 2 of the finale.
Excellent.
So I believe we're just gonna head into part 3 here, right, before we do rankings and characters. So I mean, anything else you guys have to say?
See you at part 3.
I can't wait for you to see part 3. It's
Yeah.
gonna be so good.
Yep.
Hold on to your butts.
We're gonna finish off Lost Season 1 with part 3 of Exodus, and then our Brant Steele Survivor Lost season, which, yeah, it's gonna be exciting. So, with that,
Can't wait for that.
yeah, with that, we will see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds.
John Locke.